Hey church family, welcome to Family Devotion, and you can see I'm right outside of our Buford campus, and we are so excited to be able to be back together soon. Not quite yet, but in a matter of a few weeks, we will all be able to gather together in person. Oh my goodness, we have been waiting for this. I know you've been waiting for this as well. And by the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about, make sure you go and watch the most recent sermon that we had on Sunday. PK talks about the why and the how and the when that we actually get to gather back together in person. See, because in that sermon, PK was talking about how we as a church are rooted in prayer. Everything that we do is because of Jesus. We want to see God transform souls and families and communities. And all of this is rooted in prayer. And so he asked this basic question, maybe a question that you've asked before. Why do we pray? Again, we know that Jesus prayed, and we know that people say that you should pray, but why? Why do we pray? And one of the answers is because we don't know. We don't know. In other words, there's so many unknowns, and by the way, 2020 has proven that there are a lot of things that we don't know. We don't know what to do. In fact, when you listen to the news or watch the news or read the news, sometimes you don't even know what is true. And so part of the reason that we pray is because we don't know. We don't know what to do. And we are surrounded. In fact, when we get back into buildings, it's going to be an incredible day, but we know this: when we leave our homes, we are stepping into a world of unknowns. And we don't know what the future holds for this economic uncertainty. We don't know what the future holds for COVID-19 and all of the health concerns. We don't know what to do about racial injustice and inequality and the tensions in our country. We don't know. And that's why we pray. See, this reminds me of a story of a king named Jehoshaphat, and his story is found in 2 Chronicles chapter 20. Right at the beginning of the chapter, this is what it says. It says, "After this, the Moabites and Ammonites with some of the Meunites came to wage war against Jehoshaphat." So here's Jehoshaphat, and if you look at a map, you can see each of these three countries literally surrounding the country of Judah. And here's King Jehoshaphat surrounded by his enemies, not knowing what to do. The next verse says, "Some people came and told Jehoshaphat, 'A vast army is coming against you from Edom.'" In other words, Jehoshaphat, you're surrounded. What are you going to do? And this might be how you feel. Maybe this is how your family feels. Maybe this is how it feels at work with your friends in your neighborhood. What are you going to do? And I think if I were King Jehoshaphat, I might try to maybe outsmart the enemy, maybe see if I can come up with a battle plan that just somehow outsmarts these three enemies that I'm facing. Or maybe if I were King Jehoshaphat, I would just try to outrun the enemy, see if I can get as far away as quick as I can and just not deal with the enemies that I'm facing. Or maybe, and this is some of you, maybe this would have been me too, King Jehoshaphat, I might try to outwar the enemy. I might try to see, can I actually beat this enemy just by fighting as hard as I can? And what's incredible about King Jehoshaphat, he doesn't do any of this. Instead, look at the beginning of verse 3. 2 Chronicles chapter 20, verse 3 says, "Alarmed, Jehoshaphat resolved to inquire of the Lord, and he proclaimed a fast for all of Judah." See, King Jehoshaphat was rooted in prayer. And so even though he had so many unknowns, even though he was surrounded by enemies on all sides, he resolved to pray. In fact, I love how his prayer ends. Verse 12, he says this, "Our God, will you not judge them? For we have no power to face this vast army that is attacking us." And he says this, "We do not know what to do, but our eyes are on you." Church family, I think this is us. In the midst of so many uncertainties, in the midst of us not knowing what to do about a global economic crisis, about a global pandemic, about the racial tensions in our country, we don't know what to do, but our eyes are on you. This is what it means for us to be rooted in prayer, not to try and outsmart the enemy, not to try and outrun the enemy, not to try and outwar the enemy, but to fall on our faces, to fall on our knees and say, God, I don't know what to do, but my eyes are on you. I'm looking to you. I need your help. Church, this is who we are called to be as a church that is rooted in prayer, that every day we would wake up and despite what we're facing, we would look at our Father in heaven and say, I don't know what to do, but my eyes are on you today. And so, church, here's what I'd love to challenge you with. What is something that you are trying to face by yourself? Maybe right now it's an economic uncertainty. Maybe it's a health crisis. Maybe it's racial injustice. And you're trying to fight it all by yourself. And maybe God's invitation to you is come to me, inquire of me, ask for my help and my wisdom, and I will lead you. And then I want you to do this. I want you to take some time and pray. And maybe for you, you borrow the prayer of King Jehoshaphat. God, I don't know what to do, but my eyes are on you.